Admiral Park Jun stood in front of the big screen at Earth Defense Command. The room was quiet, except for the soft hum of computers. It was early morning, and most of his team was still drinking coffee. Park Jun liked these quiet moments before the busy day started. He was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. For 20 years, he had protected Earth from space dangers. Asteroids, solar storms, and broken satellites were normal problems. But today would be different. The alarm suddenly rang loud through the building. Red lights flashed on every wall. Captain Lee Minho ran into the room, his uniform wrinkled like he had been sleeping. "Sir, we have a problem," Lee Minho said, trying to catch his breath. "Something big is coming through space. It's not from our solar system." Park Jun frowned. "Show me." The big screen changed to show space around Earth. At first, everything looked normal. Stars twinkled in the distance. Earth's moon moved slowly in its path. Then something strange happened. A bright light appeared in empty space. It grew bigger and bigger until it became a hole in space itself. Through this hole came a ship unlike anything humans had ever seen. Dr. Kim Hana arrived just as the alien ship came through. She was Earth's smartest scientist and could understand things that made other people's heads hurt. Her black hair was tied back, and she carried a tablet full of numbers and charts. "The energy readings are impossible," she said, staring at her tablet. "This ship is using power equal to a small star." More holes opened in space. More alien ships came through. Each one was huge, bigger than Earth's biggest cities. They had strange shapes that hurt to look at. Some looked like crystals, others like living creatures made of metal. Commander Choi Yuna walked up to Park Jun. She was in charge of finding out secrets about Earth's enemies. Her job was to know things before they became problems. "Sir, I've never seen anything like this in our files," she said quietly. "These ships are not from any species we know about." Engineer Kang Dai-ho ran his hands through his hair as he studied the alien ships on his computer. He built Earth's weapons and defenses. Right now, his weapons looked like toys compared to what was in space above them. "Their smallest ship could destroy our biggest city," he said. "And they have hundreds of ships." The alien ships arranged themselves in a perfect circle around Earth's solar system. They did not attack. They just waited. The waiting was scary. Then, the communication system made a strange noise, the big screen filled with static and colors that should not exist. Slowly, an image formed. A creature appeared on the screen. It was tall and covered in scales that looked like diamonds. Its eyes were bright yellow and seemed to look right through the humans watching. When it spoke, its voice was deep and cold. "I am Chancellor Vextar of the Galaxy Council," the creature said. "We speak to the species you call humans." Park Jun stepped forward. "I am Admiral Park Jun of Earth Defense. We are listening." Vextar's mouth opened to show teeth like knives. "Your species has broken galactic law. You have left your home system without permission. You have built colonies where you do not belong." "We didn't know there were laws," Park Jun said carefully. "No one told us about any Galaxy Council." "Ignorance is no excuse," Vextar said. His voice got colder. "The Galaxy Council has kept peace in this galaxy for 1,000 years. We decide which species can travel between stars. We decide which species live and which species die." Other creatures appeared on the screen behind Vextar. One looked like a giant insect with too many arms. Another was made of gas and electricity. A third creature seemed to be made of living rock. "You will listen to our words," Vextar continued. "You have 72 of your hours to do two things. First, you will bring all your people back to Earth. Second, you will surrender to the Galaxy Council. We will decide if your species can continue to exist." Scientist Lim Sora had been studying alien technology for years. She found pieces of old alien machines in space and tried to understand how they worked. Now she stared at the screen with wide eyes. "The quantum signatures," she whispered to Dr. Kim Hana. "They're using technology that exists in multiple dimensions at the same time." Dr. Kim Hana nodded grimly. "That's how they appeared so suddenly. They don't travel through space. They travel through reality itself." Vextar raised one clawed hand. "If you do not obey, we will remove your species from existence. We have done this before to other rebellious species. Their planets are now empty rocks floating in space. And if we surrender, Park Jun asked. Then you will serve the Galaxy Council. Your people will work in our mines and factories. Your smartest individuals will help us build new weapons. Your soldiers will fight our wars. This is the fate of all lesser species. The communication ended. The screen went black. The room was silent except for the sound of people breathing. Captain Lee Minho was the first to speak. Sir, what do we do? Park Jun looked around the room at his team. These were Earth's best people. They had solved impossible problems before, but this seemed truly impossible. How many ships do they have? He asked. Over 800, Kang Daeho replied. Each one has enough firepower to destroy a continent. And how many ships do we have? 53 combat ships. But, sir, our best weapons couldn't even scratch their smallest ship. Commander Choi Yuna pulled up files on her computer. I've been reading about the Galaxy Council and the alien technology fragments. They've destroyed 47 species in the last 1,000 years, species that were more advanced than us. Dr. Kim Hana studied the energy readings from the alien ships. Their technology is based on dimensional phasing. They can exist partially outside our normal space. That makes them almost impossible to hit. Almost impossible, Park Jun repeated, but not completely impossible. Scientist Lim Sora looked up from her tablet. There might be a way. The quantum readings show their technology has a weakness. They're too dependent on dimensional stability. Explain, Park Jun said. Think of it like this, Lim Sora said. They're standing on a bridge between two worlds. If we could shake that bridge... Dr. Kim Hana's eyes got bright with understanding. Our quantum drive technology, it's crude compared to theirs, but it works differently. We could create quantum interference. Kang Daeho shook his head. It would be like trying to stop a hurricane with a fan. Maybe, Park Jun said. But it's better than giving up. He walked to the big window that showed Earth below. Cities full of people who didn't know their lives might end in 3 days. Children playing in parks, families eating dinner together, scientists working on new discoveries, artists creating beautiful things. 60 years ago, my grandfather fought in a war, Park Jun said quietly. His enemies had better weapons, more soldiers, and more experience. Everyone said he should surrender. But he didn't. He said that some things are worth fighting for, even when you cannot win. He turned back to his team. The Galaxy Council thinks we're weak because we're young. They think we'll give up because they're stronger. But they don't understand humans. Very well. Captain Lee Minho straightened up. What are your orders, sir? We fight, Park Jun said simply. We use every advantage we have. We think of things they don't expect. We show them that humans don't surrender easily. Commander Choi Yuna nodded. I'll contact our colonies. They should know what's happening. And I'll start working on the quantum interference idea, Dr. Kim Hana said. We have 71 hours, Park Jun said. Let's make them count. As his team rushed to their work, Park Jun looked back at the stars. Somewhere out there, alien beings were planning humanity's destruction. They thought humans were just another weak species to be conquered or eliminated. They were about to learn they were wrong. Dr. Kim Hana had not slept for 2 days. Her eyes were red and tired, but her mind was sharp. Coffee cups covered her desk next to computers that showed numbers and graphs. She was trying to solve the biggest puzzle of her life. The quantum frequencies don't match, she said to herself. Their technology vibrates at a different rate than ours. Engineer Kang Daeho walked into her lab carrying a box of metal parts. He looked as tired as she did. His team had been working day and night to build new weapons. Any progress? He asked, setting down the box. Maybe, Dr. Kim Hana replied. Look at this. She pointed to her screen. Council ships exist in multiple dimensions at once, but to do that, they need perfect quantum stability. And if we disrupt that stability, they might be forced back into normal space, where our weapons could actually hit them. Kang Daeho opened his box and pulled out a device that looked like a metal flower. This is a quantum resonance emitter, based on your calculations, but I don't know if it will work. Across the base, Captain Lee Minho was in the hangar looking at his ship. The Harmony was not a warship. It was built for exploring space and making friends with aliens. But now it might become humanity's secret weapon. His crew was installing the new quantum devices. The work was dangerous. One mistake could tear the ship apart at the atomic level. "Captain," his engineer called out, "are you sure about this? If the quantum field destabilizes, we'll be scattered across 17 dimensions." Lee Minho checked his watch. 47 hours left. "We have to try. Earth is counting on us." Commander Choi Yuna was in the communications center talking to human colonies across space. The news was not good. Galaxy Council ships had appeared at every human settlement. The aliens were making sure no one could escape. "New Sol Colony reports 12 Council ships," she told Admiral Park Jun. "Mars Base says 18 ships. They're surrounding everything we've built." Park Jun studied the map of human space. Red dots showed where alien ships waited. There were hundreds of them. "They're being thorough," he said. "They don't want any humans to survive if we refuse to surrender." "Sir," Choi Yuna said carefully, "maybe we should consider their offer. If we surrender, at least some humans will live." Park Jun looked at her with understanding. "I know you're scared. We all are. But think about what surrender means. Our children would be slaves. Our scientists would build weapons for tyrants. Our soldiers would fight wars against innocent species. But they would be alive. Would they really be living? Or just existing?" Park Jun shook his head. "No. We fight. Even if we lose, we show the galaxy that some species choose freedom over slavery." Scientist Lim Sora was deep underground in Earth's most secret laboratory. She was studying pieces of ancient alien technology that human explorers had found in dead star systems. These fragments came from species the Galaxy Council had destroyed long ago. She held up a crystal that still glowed with alien energy. "You tried to fight them too, didn't you?" she whispered to the crystal. "I wonder what you learned." Her computer beeped. The crystal's energy pattern matched something in the Galaxy Council's transmissions. The same technology, but used differently. "Dr. Kim Hana," she called on her communicator. "I think I found something important." Minutes later, Dr. Kim Hana and Lim Sora were working together in the underground lab. The crystal fragment was connected to human computers through careful wires and sensors. "The species that built this used quantum technology too," Lim Sora explained. "But they used it to hide, not to attack." "Look at these readings." Dr. Kim Hana studied the data. They were trying to phase out of normal space completely to escape the Galaxy Council. But it didn't work. The Council found them anyway and destroyed their worlds. But their technology is still here, still working after thousands of years. "What if we combine their hiding technology with our interference technology?" Dr. Kim Hana asked excitedly. Lim Sora smiled for the first time in days. "We might be able to do more than just disrupt their ships. We might be able to trap them between dimensions." The two scientists worked through the night. They built a new device that combined human quantum drives with alien crystals. It was dangerous and had never been tested, but it was their best hope. Captain Lee Minho and his crew launched the Harmony early in the morning. Their mission was to test the new technology against a single Council ship. If it worked, Earth would have a chance. If it failed, they would die. The Council fleet waited in perfect formation around Earth's solar system. Their ships were beautiful and terrible, like deadly jewels floating in space. Each one pulsed with energy that could destroy planets. "Target acquired," Lee Minho's weapons officer reported. "One Council scout ship, smaller than the others. Remember," Lee Minho said to his crew, "we're not trying to destroy it. We're trying to disrupt its dimensional phasing. If this works, the ship should become solid in our space. And if it doesn't work, then we become the first humans to die, fighting the Galaxy Council. But we won't be the last." The Harmony moved closer to the Council ship. The alien vessel was 3 times bigger than the human ship and covered in spikes that crackled with energy. It looked like a sea creature made of metal and lightning. "Quantum resonance emitter ready," the engineer reported. "Fire," Lee Minho ordered. A wave of invisible energy shot from the Harmony toward the Council ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien ship began to flicker like a broken television. "It's working!" the weapons officer shouted. "The ship is becoming solid!" Lee Minho watched in amazement as the Council ship solidified completely. For the first time, it existed only in normal space. Human sensors could see it clearly. Human weapons could target it. All weapons. Fire. The Harmony's lasers and missiles hit the Council ship. Explosions bloomed across its hull. The alien ship shuddered and began to drift. But then something unexpected happened. The Council ship stabilized its quantum field and began to fade back into multiple dimensions. The human attack had damaged it, but not destroyed it. It's adapting, Lee Minho realized. They're learning to counter our interference. The Council ship turned toward the Harmony. Energy weapons charged along its hull, ready to return fire. All power to engines, Lee Minho shouted. Get us out of here! The Harmony raced away as alien weapons fired. Beams of energy that could cut through asteroids missed the human ship by meters. But the small ship was fast and managed to escape. Back on Earth, Admiral Park Jun watched the battle on. His screens. The test had proved that human technology could work against the Council ships. But it had also shown that the aliens were smart and could adapt quickly. How long before they modify all their ships to resist our interference? He asked Dr. Kim Hana. Maybe 6 hours, she replied. We have a small window of opportunity. Then, we use it, Park Jun decided. Signal all Earth defense ships. We attack now, while our advantage still exists. Commander Choi Yuna looked worried. Sir, we only have 53 ships. They have 800. Even with our new technology, the odds are impossible. The odds were impossible for my grandfather, too, Park Jun said. But he won his war by fighting smart, not just fighting hard. He turned to address his entire command center. Listen carefully, everyone. We're not trying to destroy the entire Council fleet. We're trying to do something they've never seen before, something so unexpected that it will change everything. Engineer. Kang Dae-ho had finished installing quantum resonance emitters on every human ship. The devices were experimental and dangerous, but they were humanity's only hope. Ships report ready, he announced. Park Jun took a deep breath. In 1 hour, the Galaxy Council's deadline would expire. After that, they would attack Earth and destroy human civilization. All ships. This is Admiral Park Jun, he broadcast to the human fleet. Today we face an enemy that has conquered the galaxy. They think we're weak because we're young. They think we'll surrender because they're stronger. He paused, looking at Earth through his window. Blue and green and beautiful, full of life and hope. But they don't understand that humans have never been good at knowing when to quit. Today we show them what happens when you threaten Earth. Today we show the galaxy that freedom is worth fighting for. The countdown timer on his screen showed 59 minutes until the deadline. All ships advance. Let's go save humanity. The Galaxy Council fleet moved toward Earth like a storm made of metal and energy. Chancellor Vextar stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the small planet that dared to reject his authority. His scaled hands gripped the command rail, as anger burned in his yellow eyes. Prepare all weapons, he ordered Military Commander Mordan. These humans will learn what happens to species that defy the Galaxy Council. Mordan was a creature that looked like an insect crossed with a machine. His 4 arms moved quickly over alien controls as he prepared the fleet for attack. Target their major cities first? Yes. Make their destruction visible from space. Other species must see what rebellion brings. The Council ships spread across space above Earth. Each one was armed with weapons that could crack moons and boil oceans. They had used these weapons 47 times before to destroy rebellious species. The 48th time would be easy. But something was wrong. Sir, one of the alien crew members reported, we're detecting unusual energy patterns from the human ships. Vextar looked at the display. 53 tiny human ships were moving toward his massive fleet. It was like watching insects attack a forest fire. What are they doing? He wondered aloud. They cannot possibly think they can win. On Earth's defense satellites, engineer Kang Dae-ho watched his instruments carefully. The quantum resonance emitters were charging to full power. Each satellite was connected to the others through quantum links, creating a network that surrounded the entire solar system. Network at 90%, he reported to Admiral Park Jun. Ready to activate. On your command, Dr. Kim Hana monitored the quantum field readings from her underground laboratory. The Council ships existed partially in 17 different dimensions at once. Their technology was amazing and terrible, but it had one weakness. The quantum signatures are stable, she reported. If we can disrupt their dimensional anchors, they'll be scattered across multiple realities. Scientist Lim Sora held the ancient alien crystal in her hands. It was warm and pulsed with energy from a civilization destroyed thousands of years ago. "This time will be different," she whispered. "This time we fight back." Captain Lee Minho led the human fleet toward the alien ships. The Harmony had been repaired after its test battle, but Lee Minho knew this fight would be much harder. He was not facing one scout ship now. He was facing the most powerful military force in the galaxy. "All ships, maintain formation," he broadcast to the other human captains. "Remember, we're not trying to win a traditional battle. We're trying to survive long enough for the satellites to do their work." The Council fleet opened fire first. Beams of energy that could destroy asteroids reached across space toward the human ships, but the human ships were small and fast, darting between the massive alien weapons like flies avoiding swatting hands. Commander Choi Yuna watched the battle from Earth's command center. The human ships were brave, but they were badly outnumbered. "We're losing 3 ships for every one we damage," she reported. "Hold the line," Admiral Park Jun ordered. "Just a few more minutes." Chancellor Vexitar grew frustrated as he watched. His weapons missed the small human ships again and again. "Why can't we hit them? They're primitives with inferior technology. They're using unpredictable flight patterns," Mordan reported. "Our targeting computers expect logical military tactics. These humans fight like they're insane." "Then adjust our targeting systems." "I'm trying, but their behavior makes no mathematical sense. They're sacrificing strategic advantage for random movements." What the aliens didn't understand was that the human pilots were not following military textbooks. They were following instincts learned from flying through asteroid fields and solar storms. They zigged when logic said to zag. They attacked when wisdom said to retreat. Engineer Kang Daeho's quantum network reached full power. "Admiral, the resonance field is ready." "Dr. Kim Hana, are you ready?" Park Jun asked. "The quantum calculations are complete. But I have to warn you, sir, once we activate this, there's no way to predict exactly what will happen. The interference could affect our own ships, too." Park Jun looked at the battle raging in space above Earth. More human ships were dying every minute, but they were buying time for humanity's desperate plan. "Do it," he ordered. Dr. Kim Hana pressed the activation button. Across Earth's solar system, quantum resonance emitters came to life. They created a field of energy that existed in multiple dimensions at once, just like the Council ships. But the human field was chaotic and unpredictable, designed to interfere with the precise quantum calculations that kept the alien ships stable. The effect was immediate and terrifying. Council ships began to flicker between dimensions. Chancellor Vexitar watched in horror as his bridge faded in and out of reality. Some of his crew members aged rapidly, while others moved in slow motion. The ship's computer systems began reporting impossible readings. "What's happening?" Vexitar demanded. "The humans!" Mordan shouted. "They're using quantum interference! Our dimensional anchors are becoming unstable!" Across the Council fleet, the same thing was happening. Ships that had existed in 17 dimensions at once were being scattered across realities that might not even exist. Some vessels began spinning through time as well as space. Others found themselves in dimensions where physics worked differently. Scientist Lim Sora watched the quantum readings with amazement. "It's working better than we hoped. The Council ships are losing dimensional cohesion." "Where are they going?" Admiral Park Jun asked. "Everywhere and nowhere," Dr. Kim Hana replied, staring at her instruments. "Some are being scattered across parallel universes. Others are stuck between dimensions. A few might be traveling backward through time." Chancellor Vexitar tried to maintain control as his flagship phased in and out of existence. Half his crew had disappeared into other dimensions. The other half were experiencing time at different speeds. "Send a message to all ships," he ordered. "Retreat to safe distance." But it was too late. The quantum interference was spreading from ship to ship through the Council's own dimensional technology. Each ship that tried to phase out of danger created more instability in the quantum field. Captain Lee Minho watched in amazement as alien ships simply vanished from normal space. "They're not exploding," he reported. "They're just gone." "Sir," his weapons officer called out, "the largest Council ship is trying to break free of the interference field." Lee Minho looked at the massive alien flagship. It was twice the size of any other ship in the fleet, and its quantum systems were more powerful. Chancellor Vextar was fighting to stabilize his vessel's dimensional anchors. "All remaining ships, target that flagship," Lee Minho ordered. "Don't let it escape!" The surviving human ships concentrated their fire on Vextar's vessel. Their weapons, enhanced with quantum resonance, struck the alien ship just as it tried to phase between dimensions. The combination of human weapons and quantum interference created a cascade failure in the ship's dimensional matrix. Chancellor Vextar's final transmission was a scream of rage and terror. "This is impossible! Your species is primitive! You cannot—" The transmission cut off as the flagship disappeared into a reality where alien voices could not be heard. Within 17 minutes of the quantum field activation, the entire Galaxy Council fleet had vanished from detectable space. 800 of the most powerful warships in the galaxy had been scattered across dimensions that existed only in theoretical mathematics. The space around Earth was empty except for floating debris and the small human ships that had somehow survived the impossible battle. Admiral Park Jun stood in his command center, staring at the empty space where moments before the galaxy's greatest threat had been preparing to destroy humanity. The silence in the room was deafening. "Status report," he finally said. "Quantum field is dissipating," Dr. Kim Hana reported. "All interference patterns returning to normal." "Casualty reports coming in," Commander Choi Yuna said quietly. "We lost 18 ships and their crews. But Earth is safe." Engineer Kang Dae-ho checked his instruments. "The satellites are overloaded but functional. The quantum emitters burned out from the overload, but they did their job. Scientist Lim Sora set down the ancient alien crystal. It had stopped glowing, its energy finally spent after thousands of years. I think the species that made this would be proud," she said softly. Captain Lee Minho brought the surviving human ships back to Earth. As they passed through the debris field where the Council fleet had been, they found only empty space and unanswered questions. "Where did they go?" one of his crew members asked. "Somewhere else," Lee Minho replied. "Somewhere they can't hurt anyone anymore." Admiral Park Jun walked to his window and looked down at Earth. The planet was still blue and green and beautiful. Children were still playing in parks. Families were still eating dinner together. Scientists were still working on new discoveries. But everything had changed. Humanity had faced the most powerful force in the galaxy and won. Not through superior technology or greater numbers, but through courage and cleverness, and the stubborn human refusal to give up. "Sir," Commander Choi Yuna said, "what do we do now?" Park Jun considered the question. The Galaxy Council was gone, but the galaxy was still full of alien species that had been under Council rule for thousands of years. 3 weeks after the Galaxy Council disappeared, strange messages began arriving at Earth from across the galaxy. Commander Choi Yuna had never been so busy. Her communication center received hundreds of signals every day from alien species she had never heard of. "Another message from the Veltari system," she reported to Admiral Park Jun. "They're asking for protection from something called the Iron Swarm." Admiral Park Jun rubbed his tired eyes. Since the Council's disappearance, he had learned that ruling a galaxy was much harder than defeating its rulers. "What do we know about this Iron Swarm?" "Not much. The Veltari say they're machines that eat planets. They were held back by Council forces, but now—" She gestured helplessly. Dr. Kim Hana entered the command center carrying a tablet full of data. She had been studying the remains of Council technology found floating in space after the battle. Most of it was burned out and useless, but some pieces still worked. "I've been analyzing the Council's database fragments," she said. "The galaxy is much bigger and more dangerous than we thought. The Council controlled about 12% of all star systems. The rest of the galaxy is complicated." "Show me," Park Jun said. Dr. Kim Hana activated a holographic map of the galaxy. Blue dots showed systems that had been under Council control, but most of the map was covered in red, yellow, and orange dots. "Red systems are controlled by machine intelligences," she explained. "Yellow systems have species that are still fighting wars from thousands of years ago. Orange systems are empty. Something destroyed all life there, but we don't know what." Engineer Kang Dae-ho had been listening from his workstation. "And all of these different groups are sending us messages?" "Some want our help, Commander. Choi Yuna said. Others want to trade with us. A few are threatening us, and many are just curious about the species that made the Galaxy Council disappear. Scientist Lim Sora walked in carrying a box of alien devices. She had been working with refugee ships that arrived at Earth after escaping from former Council territory. Each ship brought new technologies and new problems. The Veltari refugees are teaching us about their crystal energy systems, she reported. But they're also warning us about other species that serve the Council willingly. Some of those species are angry that we destroyed their masters. Captain Lee Minho's voice came through the communication system from his ship in orbit. Admiral, we have another problem. 3 Corvan warships just entered our solar system. They're demanding that we surrender for crimes against galactic order. Park Jun sighed. The Corvans had been the Council's favorite enforcers. They were a military species that loved war and conquest. Without the Council to control them, they were trying to rebuild the old empire with themselves in charge. Are they threatening us directly? Park Jun asked. Not yet, Lee Minho replied. But their ships are armed with weapons we've never seen before. They're more advanced than the Council technology. Dr. Kim Hana studied her readings. The Corvan ships are using pure energy matrices. No physical matter at all. Our quantum interference won't work on them. Then we'll have to try something else, Park Jun decided. Captain Lee, invite their leaders to Earth for negotiations. Sir, Commander Choi Yuna said carefully, are you sure that's wise? The Corvans are known for solving disagreements with violence. Then we'll have to be more persuasive than they are violent. 2 days later, the Corvan delegation arrived at Earth Defense Command. Their leader was a creature called War Master Kraltesh. He was 3 meters tall, covered in natural armor, and had 4 arms that ended in claws. His species had evolved for fighting, and it showed. Humans, Kraltesh said in a voice like grinding metal. You will answer for destroying the galaxy. Council. They brought order to chaos. They brought peace through strength. Admiral Park Jun sat across from the alien warrior. Between them was a simple table and 2 very different ideas about how the galaxy should work. The Council brought slavery, Park Jun replied calmly. They destroyed species that wanted freedom. That's not peace, that's oppression. Order requires sacrifice, Kraltesh said. The strong rule the weak. The Council understood this truth. And where did that truth lead them? Park Jun asked. They're gone, scattered across dimensions they can't return from. Their strength couldn't save them from human cleverness. Kraltesh's 4 hands clenched into fists. You used trickery and cowardice. In honorable combat, humans would die quickly. Maybe. But the dead can't protect anyone. The living can. Dr. Kim Hana had been recording the conversation and analyzing Kraltesh's body language. She noticed something interesting. Despite his aggressive words, the Corvan leader kept looking at Earth through the command center's windows. What do you see when you look at our planet? She asked suddenly. Kraltesh seemed surprised by the question. I see. A world without proper defenses. Soft species that waste time on art and science instead of war. Do you see the cities? Dr. Kim Hana pressed. The lights at night? The ships coming and going peacefully? I see weakness. We call it civilization, Park Jun said. We call it life worth protecting. Engineer Kang Daeho had been quietly working on his tablet during the negotiations. Now he looked up with excitement. Admiral, I think I understand something about Corvan technology. Their energy matrices are incredibly advanced, but they require massive amounts of power. More power than their ships can generate alone. What are you saying? Park Jun asked. They're drawing energy from somewhere else, probably from their home system. If we could disrupt that connection. Kraltesh overheard the conversation and stood up angrily. You dare threaten the Corvan Empire? We have conquered 100 worlds. And how many of those worlds are empty now? Scientist Lim Sora asked quietly. She had been studying reports from across the galaxy. How many species did you destroy completely? Something changed in Kraltesh's expression. For a moment, the aggressive warrior looked almost tired. That is the way of conquest, he said, but his voice was less certain. It doesn't have to be, Park Jun said. We defeated the Galaxy Council, but we didn't destroy them. We scattered them to other dimensions where they can't hurt anyone. But they might still be alive somewhere. Impossible. Enemies must be eliminated completely. Why? The simple question seemed to confuse Kraltesh. He had been taught that strength meant destroying weakness, that victory meant total conquest. The idea that enemies could be defeated without being destroyed was foreign to him. Commander Choi Yuna had been monitoring communications from the Corvin ships. "Admiral, I'm detecting internal arguments among their crew. Not all of them agree with their war master. Show them the refugee camps," Park Jun decided. An hour later, Kraltesh stood in a camp outside Earth Defense Command, where alien refugees had built temporary homes. These were species that had escaped from Council territory after the Empire collapsed. They came from dozens of different worlds and looked nothing like each other. A Veltari family was teaching human children how to grow crystal plants. A group of gaseous beings were working with human engineers to design new air recycling systems. Former Council slaves were sharing their knowledge freely with their rescuers. They worked together, Kraltesh observed, sounding puzzled. Different species, but no one rules the others. That's the point, Dr. Kim Hana explained. Strength comes from cooperation, not domination. Kraltesh watched a human doctor treating an injured alien child. The species were so different that they couldn't even breathe the same air, but the human wore a breathing mask and worked carefully to help the young alien. "On Corvin worlds, the weak serve the strong," he said slowly. "Here, the strong serve the weak? Here, everyone serves everyone," Park Jun corrected. "We're all stronger when we help each other." That evening, Kraltesh sat alone in his quarters on the human base. Through his window, he could see Earth cities glowing in the darkness. For the first time in his life, he wondered if there might be a different way to live. His communicator beeped. One of his ship commanders was calling for orders. "War Master, shall we begin the attack on the human homeworld?" Kraltesh looked at the glowing cities one more time. Somewhere down there, humans and aliens were working together to build something new, something the galaxy had never seen before. "No," he said finally. "We return to Corvin space. There are things I must think about." As the Corvin ships left Earth's solar system, Admiral Park Jun received a final message from their war master. "Humans have shown me that strength has many forms. Perhaps the Corvin Empire can learn new ways to be strong." Commander Choi Yuna watched the alien ships disappear into hyperspace. "Think he meant it?" "I think he's starting to question everything." "He was taught," Park Jun replied. "Sometimes that's how real change begins." But their problems were far from over. The communications center was still receiving hundreds of messages from across the galaxy. Some asked for help. Others offered trade. A few contained warnings about dangers that even the Galaxy Council had feared. Dr. Kim Hana studied the holographic galaxy map. The blue dots showing former Council territory were now surrounded by question marks. Humanity had won their freedom, but now they had to help build a new kind of galaxy. "It's going to be a big job," she said. "Good thing humans don't." "Know when to quit," Park Jun replied. 6 months had passed since the Galaxy Council disappeared. Admiral Park Jun stood in the new Terra Alliance headquarters, watching representatives from 43 different species work together in the same building. The sight still amazed him. A Veltari engineer with crystal skin was showing a human scientist how to grow living metal. Nearby, a gaseous being from the Nathara system was teaching Earth children how to sing with light instead of sound. In the corner, former Corvin warriors were learning to build hospitals instead of weapons. "The quarterly report is ready, Admiral," Commander Choi Yuna said, walking up with a thick data pad. "The Alliance now includes 67 star systems and 92 different species." Park Jun took the report and smiled at the numbers. When humanity first entered space, they thought they were alone. Now Earth was the center of the largest peaceful alliance in galactic history. Dr. Kim Hana entered the room, carrying a device that hummed with quantum energy. She had been working on new communication technology based on alien science and human innovation. "The quantum communication network is complete," she announced proudly. "We can now talk instantly with any Alliance world, no matter how far away. The signal travels through folded space-time. Even the Council never had technology like that," scientist Lim Sora added. She had been studying ancient alien databases found in abandoned Council facilities. They used ships to carry messages between star systems. This is much faster. Engineer Kang Daeho was excited about the new technology for different reasons. With instant communication, we can coordinate defense across the entire alliance. If one world is attacked, all worlds can respond immediately. Are we expecting attacks? Park Jun asked. Commander Choi Yuna's expression grew serious. Maybe. Our deep space sensors have detected something disturbing near the galaxy's edge. Captain Lee Minho is investigating. Captain Lee Minho's voice came through the new quantum communicator system. His words were clear despite being transmitted across thousands of light years. Admiral, you need to see this, Lee Minho said. We've found the reason why the Galaxy Council controlled such a small part of the galaxy. The main screen activated to show Lee Minho's ship floating near a dead star system. But this wasn't a natural death. The planets had been stripped down to their cores. The star itself was surrounded by massive mechanical structures that pulsed with dark energy. Machine intelligences, Dr. Kim Hana breathed. They're harvesting entire solar systems. The screen showed robotic ships the size of moons moving between the mechanical structures. Each ship was covered in weapons that could destroy fleets. They moved with perfect coordination, like parts of a single enormous machine. There are hundreds of systems like this, Lee Minho reported. The machines have been expanding slowly for thousands of years. The Council's borders weren't about controlling territory. They were about holding back this threat. Admiral Park Jun felt a chill run down his spine. How long before they reach Alliance space? At their current rate of expansion, maybe 50 years. But Admiral, there's something else. The machines have detected our presence. They're changing their behavior. The screen showed the machine ships turning toward Lee Minho's position. They began moving faster, as if they had suddenly become interested in this new development. Captain, get out of there immediately, Park Jun ordered. Already on our way, Lee Minho replied. But sir, I don't think we can hide from them much longer. They seem to know something has changed in Council space. The transmission ended as Lee Minho's ship escaped into hyperspace. The command center was quiet as everyone considered what they had learned. So the Galaxy Council wasn't just evil, scientist Lim Sora said slowly. They were trying to protect the galaxy from something worse. Protection through slavery is still wrong, Dr. Kim Hana replied. But this does explain why they were so desperate to control everything. Engineer Kang Daeho was already working on tactical assessments. Our quantum interference technology won't work on pure machines. They don't exist in multiple dimensions like the Council ships did. Then we'll have to develop new weapons, Park Jun decided. And we'll need help from every Alliance species. Commander Choi Yuna pulled up reports from across Alliance space. The good news is that many former Council species have military experience fighting these machines. The bad news is that they never won against them. Over the following weeks, the Terra Alliance transformed from a peaceful cooperation into a galaxy-wide defense organization. But this was different from the old Council's military. Instead of forcing species to fight, the Alliance asked for volunteers. Instead of building weapons of conquest, they built weapons of protection. The Veltari contributed their crystal technology, which could store enormous amounts of energy. The Corvins, led by their reformed war master Kraltesh, provided their knowledge of advanced warfare. Even the gaseous Nathara beings helped by developing new types of sensors that could detect machine intelligence at great distances. Dr. Kim Hana made a breakthrough when she combined human quantum physics with Veltari crystal technology and Corvin energy matrices. The result was a new type of weapon that could disrupt the programming of machine intelligences. It's like a computer virus, but for robots, she explained to the Alliance Council. Instead of destroying their bodies, we confuse their minds. Engineer Kang Daeho built the first prototype weapons and installed them on Alliance ships. The Sashin technology was experimental and dangerous, but it gave them hope. Scientist Lim Sora made an even more important discovery in the ancient Council databases. The machines aren't natural, she announced. They were created by a species called the Architects billions of years ago, but something went wrong. The machines destroyed their creators and have been consuming the galaxy ever since. How did the Council know this? Park Jun asked. They didn't, completely, but they found fragments of architect technology and used it to enhance their own science. That's how they became so powerful. They were using weapons designed to fight these machines. The revelation changed everything. The Alliance wasn't just defending against random machine intelligences. They were facing the remnants of an ancient civilization's greatest mistake. Captain Lee Minho returned from another scouting mission with urgent news. The machines are accelerating their expansion. They've consumed 12 star systems in the past month, and they're heading straight for Alliance territory. How long do we have? Admiral Park Jun asked. 6 months, maybe less. The Alliance worked desperately to prepare for the coming war. Every species contributed what they could. Human factories worked alongside alien manufacturing systems to build ships and weapons. Scientists from dozens of worlds shared their knowledge freely. War Master Kraltesh had become one of the Alliance's most valuable leaders. His understanding of military strategy, combined with his new appreciation for cooperation, made him an excellent commander. The machines fight like a single organism, he explained to the Alliance Military Council. But that is also their weakness. If we can disrupt their communication network, they will become confused and fight less effectively. Dr. Kim Hana's quantum communication system became the key to the Alliance's defense strategy. If the machines fought as one mind, the Alliance would fight as many minds working together. The first battle came sooner than expected. Machine scouts entered Alliance space and began scanning human colonies. Alliance ships engaged them immediately, testing the new weapons for the first time. The quantum disruption weapons worked better than anyone had hoped. Machine ships that had seemed unstoppable suddenly began flying in circles or attacking each other. The artificial intelligences couldn't understand what was happening to their programming, but the machines adapted quickly. Within hours, they had developed countermeasures against the quantum weapons. The war would not be easy. Admiral Park Jun addressed the Alliance from the headquarters on Earth. Representatives from hundreds of worlds listened as he spoke about the challenge ahead. 6 months ago, we faced the Galaxy Council and won, he said. We proved that tyranny cannot defeat the desire for freedom. Now we face a different enemy. Not conquerors who want to rule us, but destroyers who want to erase us completely. He paused, looking at the diverse group of beings who had come together to defend their homes. But we are not the same species who face the Council. We are stronger now because we stand together. Humans and Veltari, Corvans and Nathara and dozens of others. We fight not just for our own worlds, but for the right of all life to exist in this galaxy. The Alliance fleet prepared for the largest battle in galactic history. Ships from hundreds of worlds gathered in formation, their hulls gleaming with weapons built from the combined knowledge of multiple civilizations. Engineer Kang Daeho made final adjustments to the fleet's systems. All ships report ready, Admiral. Quantum disruption networks are online. Communication systems are synchronized. Commander Choi Yuna monitored long-range sensors. Machine fleet detected, over 10,000 ships, all heavily armed. They'll reach our position in 2 hours. Dr. Kim Hana checked her calculations one final time. The quantum field generators are ready. If this works, we can disrupt machine coordination across an entire star system.